The Friday Eve edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks as always for joining us, everyone. It's the Valley's geekiest and also most in-depth weather forecast. One thing we like to do from time to time is check in on our accuracy. We're very upfront about our accuracy and our claim that we have the Valley's most accurate forecasts. I've got all the spreadsheets and data to back it up. Not to say that we get it right all the time. In fact, we've had a few rough patches so far this month, but we've now reeled off 7 consecutive accurate days. Today's high of 69 degrees was 2 degrees off our forecast of 67, so that counts as a hit for us. We try to be within 2 degrees for the high temperature each and every day. Our accuracy for the year so far is 68%. It's actually a little below last year's number for the entire calendar year, so we'd like to get that number up. Early May was a little bit tricky in the forecasting department. All right, time-lapse video from our camera in Youngstown today. This started at 5. Camera moved a little bit there, but cumulus clouds started cropping up as we got into the early afternoon today, drifting from north to south across the area. Little layer of moisture up at about 5, 6, 7,000 feet, just enough for those air parcels to reach saturation and produce a little bit of cloud cover. Always interesting to check out a high-resolution satellite picture. This is what we call MODIS, the name of the orbiting satellite. Notice the stabilizing influence of Lake Erie. Still a chilly lake, and the pressures relative to over the land are much higher over the lake with that relatively cold or cooler air sitting over the lake as a result of the cold water. So you get those higher pressures causing a lake breeze to occur, a clear area right along the lake, and then you run into the cumulus field once you're far enough away from the lake's influence. So it's always cool to check that out at this time of the year. All right, temperatures today, again, upper 60s to around 70 or so, pretty close to par. Our average high went up a tick today to 70 degrees, so we were just one below that this afternoon. As far as tonight, another chilly night, with a clear sky, dry air mass, light winds. Temperatures will drop like a rock tonight. This morning we had a few isolated patches of frost, like we said there would be. I think it's not out of the realm of possibility that we see that again tomorrow morning in the coldest spots. Most of us won't see it, though. No worries, really. Even if you do get a little frost, it's only for an hour. It's real light. It's not anything really to go crazy about. But as you can see, tomorrow morning, some places will wake up in the upper 30s, an average of 40, 41, 42 to start our Friday. It's going to be a good-looking Friday, although I think we'll notice an increase in not the little cumulus popcorn clouds we had today, but more of a high cirrus deck tomorrow afternoon as this wave of moisture approaches from the south and west. We'll stay dry during the daylight hours. Now, this forecast for Saturday remains pretty tough, even though it's now Thursday evening. It's a Saturday in May, and it's springtime, and people want to get outdoors. GM car show. We've got graduation parties, and some people have outdoor weddings at this time of the year. And, it's a time of year where the weekend forecasts get really important. And it's still up in the air how much rain falls during the daylight hours on Saturday. Here's the in-house RPM model showing a pretty good slug of rain approaching wee hours of Saturday morning. As we get into the afternoon, there's been a trend over the last 6 or 7 hours for some of our newer modeling to hang the steady rain back in the afternoon on Saturday, including with the RPM model here. Now, if this idea is right, Saturday could be a borderline washout. We've been telling you for a couple of days that we can't take that off the table. We can't rule it out. We've been talking about how it's likely to be wet first thing Saturday morning, but the afternoon will just feature pop-up showers. That's the most likely scenario. But we talked about we can't rule out a washout. We can't rule out a drier scenario either. And unfortunately, this may be a trend that is going to come to fruition with more and more wet weather for Saturday afternoon, not just the morning. So unfortunately, some bad news for the start of the weekend. We'll see what tonight's models bring. But no matter which way you slice it, no matter what happens Saturday, Sunday will be a nicer day. Won't be bright and sunny and pristine. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds on Sunday. And a little bit of a cool breeze, but we'll still make it up to 70 or 71 Sunday afternoon, pretty close to where we should be. Now, this is our current rain chance forecast for Saturday. But again, as I look at the new information tonight, I might have to adjust these numbers. We're still painting a scenario here of high probabilities of rain first thing in the morning, lowering what we call POPs, P-O-P, probability of precipitation, in the afternoon. But again, stay tuned. Might have some updates for you tonight at 11. Here's the current suite of computer models for the rainfall amounts, and these have gone up since this morning. And now we're in the quarter to half an inch camp with that RPM model, which I just showed you, leading the way here with a little over half an inch worth of wet weather. So again, some model shenanigans, some difficult forecasts for the start of the weekend. Well, it's going to warm up next week. If you watched my show at 7 or at 6, I should say, this evening, I talked about in the 7-day forecast an 80-degree day or two next week. This is the 5 to 15-day outlook, a 10-day chunk on the latest climate model, showing a continuation of the warmth as we head into the first day or two of June. Cool weather out here, warm weather where we live, and while this warm pattern might not last, forever, after the first couple of days of June, it may cool off closer to average, but I think that June overall is going to shape up to be a warmer than average month, and we're going to come out with the summer forecast here right around Memorial Day or just before Memorial Day next week, perhaps. And if you're longing for a warm summer, well, if you've been watching this video for a while, it won't be a surprise. But I think a lot of people will be happy with the summer forecast if they want some warm weather. I think it'll be a warmer summer than the last 3. Is it going to be a hot summer? Is it going to be a summer that we're going to look back on like, boy, 2016 was a really hot summer? I'm not so sure about that. But I do think it'll be warmer than the last few. And I thank you, as always, for watching Weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you tonight on 21 News at 11. Remember, you can always watch this video on your Storm Tracker 21 app. You can watch it on WFMJ.com/weather. And you can watch it on my weather blog, EricWFMJ.com.